the BizBlend Podcast, where business meets mindset and the future of work comes alive. I'm your host, Sana, and today's conversation taps into something we have all felt, that moment when technology feels more like a burden than a blessing. Now, whether it's rescuing a frozen laptop before a big presentation, or maybe helping your parents avoid the latest phishing scam, tech frustrations are real. But what if human led support, not bots, is the next billion-dollar opportunity lying out there? So today I'm joined by Andrew Bolton, a Harvard-trained financial strategist who traded Wall Street and AI startups for a mission that feels deeply personal and aligned. He's now the CEO and co-founder of Tech Rescue, which is a company redefining tech support with one simple but powerful idea. And what's that? Real humans helping real people anytime, anywhere. And Andrew's bold. Trust me, listeners. He's sharp and he's here to tell us why scaling trust, not just technology, might be the most important business move we make in this tech heavy, tech dominated world. So, whether you are leading a company, managing a family, or you're just tired of playing IT at home, this conversation is for you. So, with that, Andrew, welcome to the show, and it is an honor having you with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay. Of course, before we talk about the topic, Andrew, from Wall Street to AI startups and now running Tech Rescue, what was that aha light bulb moment for you that made you realize that human led tech support was the gap worth filling?
Um, the aha moment didn't exactly happen immediately.
Okay.
Um, it came about when my father came into the kitchen one night when I was speaking to my mother and having coffee that he didn't know how to forward an email. Now, my mother and I have been, helping my grandmother with Facebook and posting and likes and, all this for her for the past, couple years now. And when my
Okay.
father came into the kitchen and asked how to forward an email, I looked at him and I said, "How do you not know how to forward an email? Like, you've been around since the computers started. Like, how do you not know how to forward an email?" And he got frustrated and walked away. And I called after him. I said, "No, Dad, I'll help you." But when I came back, I said, "There's got to be something out there that, there has to be something." And my mother and I looked on our phones and there was nothing there. There literally was nothing out there that had a call center that you could call. You got a problem, like, who can you talk to? And we looked online and, some of my main competitors are out there, but they have
Mhm.
libraries of YouTube video how-tos. They've got libraries of articles.
Okay.
You call the company and it's not business hours or you gotta wait until you finally get somebody on the phone. No. We thought about it, and a couple days went by, and when I was at my grandmother's, she lives in a retirement community not too far away from us. She was complaining about not getting the TV to connect to her Bluetooth, her headphones, because she has hearing aids, and she was getting very, very frustrated. My grandmother, is 97 years old. She's cranky. She's set in her ways. It's a process sometimes. And I thought, okay, there's got to be something here. Like I'm doing a lot of work for this, and there has to be something. And that's when the moment happened. That's when Tech Rescue kind of was born. I went back, I explained it to mom, and we took out the whiteboard markers, covered the stainless steel refrigerator with ideas, and that's really how it happened. Is we realized that there's this need that people have as humans, as a society. We want to interact with each other. And what I think what has led to my business exploding is we have looked at people as account numbers, not people. And yes, we get approached all the time about AI. They can optimize our company by 30%, by 12%, by 18%. Optimizing people makes them feel just like a number. And what we're seeing in the marketplace right now is that people are tired of being considered a number. They want to be treated when you call. And where we're finding that correlation matches is when we look at the high end sector of retail. The experience you get from, let's say, a Louis Vuitton or a Cartier or a Tiffany's experience is going to be a lot different than you have with JCPenney, because the
Mhm.
experience that you have with the customer, with the help, with the people there.
Yeah.
That's where we had the connection, and we went, "All right." And when we started growing and we brought on a board of advisors and a board of directors, I was told something interesting. "We are offering a premium, we are a premium." And I said, "Help is not premium." 911, you don't have to pay per minute for 911. And we cultivate our business with a culture of empathy and caring. Every call that we have is a hot call. Every call. I don't want to hear interviews with people on good phone calls. Good phone calls are easy to do. I want to hear somebody frustrated. I want to hear somebody tired. I want to hear somebody at wit's end because they can't get the thing that they want to work. Those are the calls that you're going to be taking at Tech Rescue. And what's important is on the second page of our standard operating procedure, our SOP, is every call is somebody's most important someone.
Mm.
That's that is the ideology that we take at Tech Rescue. Every call is somebody's most important somebody, because
Mhm.
somebody signed them up for our service. Somebody signed them up to be taken care of. And that's what we're doing. We're taking care of your family. I treat your mother the way that I would treat my mother. And I don't care what call is coming from, where it's coming from, who it's calling in. You sign up for us, I will treat your family like they were mine. And if there's a problem that can't be fixed or can't be solved, I will call. I will be the one on the phone to take care of it. Because in a world that has become too focused on optimization and trying to create efficiencies, we've forgotten the most important thing in business is our customers.
That is true. That is right.
We've forgotten them. We have I myself find myself getting frustrated and just enraged. I'm sitting on the phone for 20 minutes with my car insurance and, one for English, two for Spanish. I now gotta hit 5 for this department or 6 for that department, and then I gotta wait. And then the person that I do get on the phone 20 minutes later can't help me, so they're gonna now transfer me over to
Yeah. Some other department.
it. We have forgotten what we're doing. We've forgotten what we're doing. We have made business business, and we have forgotten that we're taking care of people.
Andrew, you mentioned that even if optimization is involved, you do not believe treating people just as numbers. I absolutely agree with that. But then you have experience of Wall Street. How does that tie into this? Because I don't know per se, but Wall Street, when we hear about it, when we think about it, it's all about numbers and stocks and everything related to money and numbers. So how does that experience fit into this?
Well, you have to look at the pragmatic standpoint of a business. You have to be able to be objective.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
first and foremost. You have to be objective. But where your objective can then be tailored based off experiences, right? So I specialized in derivatives. I was a financial and technology derivatives broker and trader. Um,
Okay.
I was one of the bad. I was one of the bad guys. I would sell calls on the downward cycle. I would force stocks to come down to be able to hit my calls, and then ride the stock on the way up. I sent people into tailspins. I used to make people, I used to laugh on the trading desk,
Mhm.
sending, sending stocks for a ride because the trading volume was so low in the, early 2000s. After the
Mhm.
crash in 2008, the trading volume was so low, you know,
Mhm.
one individual trader with enough blocks could send a stock in any direction they really wanted to if you had enough firepower.
Mhm.
If you can take the attitude of knowing how the market works and knowing how business in itself operates, you can strategically place yourself in a good position where you can cultivate a culture that is customer central, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
The thing that I learned at grad school and starting my own business is you may not make as much money, but you will never be poor doing right by people. You'll never go
Mhm.
broke.
Mhm. That is good. That is good, Andrew. Okay, now let's address the elephant in the room. So, you advocate for trust as a currency in tech.
Mm.
So, how have you seen trust eroded by automation or all these tech support stuff happening, and what does it take to rebuild it at scale? Because we have seen quite a uh, you know uh, I think lot of events and happenings globally. So if you could elaborate.
It's a good question. Um, it's very hard to get trust back. Once you lose it, it's very hard to get trust back. Not just in business, but in life.
Yeah.
Actions will always speak louder than words. Um, People don't trust a robot. A robot doesn't have a family. A robot doesn't have feelings. A robot doesn't care. A robot is just a robot. What you put in is what you get out. And things like ChatGDP have been very, very effective in business, Um, but people need to understand what you put into the algorithm is what you're going to get out. So if you're not putting in really good information, you're going to get junk information back. You're going to get junk answers. With a person can ask questions. You call us on the phone, we're a 24-hour customer service line. You call us anytime, day or night, whether you have if you have Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or data connection, we can get to you. We can help you. If you can connect to us, we can connect to you. So we can help you. So when you call 855-250-8586, you get a real person. So right off the bat, that puts you at a stop at panic, right? Hearing that person on the other end of the phone, right? Because with our call centers, your information comes up if you're a customer. So it's Mrs. Davidson, good evening. How can I help you tonight?
Okay.
Right off the bat, that is going to solve, I'd say, about 10% of the problem right off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody just stopping you dead in your tracks, acknowledging you.
Hmm.
How may I help you tonight? What can I do to make your day or your night a little bit better? What can we do? Well, now you have somebody who is open to solve a problem. That's what we first start off with. Let's calm them down. That's step number one. We can't do anything if you're screaming. I mean, that's anything in life, right? Firefighting, EMT, earthquake, whatever. You're not gonna get anything accomplished if you're panicking or you're overly emotional.
Right.
So that's part of our job is we put out a fire. How can we help you? Simple, easy, and it's so effective. And once you do that, you build that trust. You cultivate that relationship with that person. And when you're building trust in this highly technology world, having that little nugget in your pocket going, you're the person that people call when there's a problem, you're the go-to solution, speaks for itself. Now it's your job as a business to make sure that you don't lose that trust in your with your consumers. You have to maintain it at all times.
Right. That's right. And how different is it from your competitors? You mentioned that they do have all the how to do videos, or the kind of lot of resources and library out there. But what exactly Tech Rescue is doing differently from their competitors?
Well, I want them to keep doing what they're doing because you put out libraries of videos and articles and PDFs. You ask me who's reading 3 pages.
Mm-hmm.
So IKEA, perfect example, right?
Yeah.
When you're tired and frustrated on putting these pegs and the screws into weird holes and things, what do you do? If you get overly frustrated, there's not really anybody you can call. You've got videos on YouTube, but you really don't
No.
want that, do you? You want somebody to do it. You want somebody to fix it. You're frustrated. You got an Allen key, a screwdriver, and a hammer, and your bookshelf looks like a teepee. You got parts everywhere, things are missing, and it looks nothing like the picture.
That's frustrating.
What are you doing?
Y- y- You feel like you're lost. Yeah, can be.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's a piece of furniture. Now deal with technology. Your iPhone won't connect to your laptop. Your Bluetooth won't connect to your gaming console. We get calls now about seniors about video games. Seniors are making up over 13% of the gaming community online worldwide. There's an estimated $8 billion more flowing into the video gaming industry from seniors in the next 7 years
That is surprising.
because seniors are engaged in much more activities because one, the pandemic showed us that there's a lot
Mm.
more that we can do at home, right? So you can get a PS4 used for $200. You can get a 65-inch plasma screen TV from Walmart for less than $300. So, for an online subscription, a TV, and a video game for all under $600, $700, you as a 50, 60, 70-year-old person can connect with kids and fellow fellow video game enthusiasts all over the world. There's a YouTube channel with a, senior, retired Vietnam sniper. He's one of the
Mhm.
best players in whatever video game he's playing. Fortnite. He's one of the best players in it. He's a retired sniper. He's taking everything he learned from the military and applying it into the video game, and he's untouchable. Those are hard skills learned, but he's now able to interact with people all over the world. He's now been able to establish a community, establish a whole new identity for himself, and he has a second wind of life. These are beautiful scenarios in situations that we at Tech Rescue love to hear because this is adapting to a whole new world, and I love it. There's the ability for our customers to adapt in whole new ways, but they won't do that unless they know that they have somebody they can trust in their corner, and that's where Tech Rescue comes in.
That is a great value prop, Andrew. And talking about your services, I mean, before we wrap up, so uh, they protect seniors from scams and help parents also safeguard their kids online. So, how does Tech Rescue balance empowerment with protection? Especially in emotionally charged tech situations. As you described in the previous answer.
So, with Tech Rescue, we offer a level of protection, dark web protection and monitorization. We have in-house, toolkits that we use, which is why we can keep our price points so low. We try to be as affordable for everybody as possible. That's what we pride ourselves on, and that's what we try to do. The best piece of advice I could give anybody is The same thing that your mama told you when you were growing up. If it looks weird, feels weird, smells weird, tastes weird, don't touch it. If it looks
Yeah.
weird, don't touch it.
Yeah.
If you click on an email, right? I just posted I sent this to my marketing team, to help with some visualizations. I got an email from American Express. American
Mhm.
Express is our corporate card. And when I read the email, the email itself didn't look too suspicious, but when I looked at the sender's email, it didn't have Amex as its return address. It had some webmail. I know for a fact that our account representative at American Express has at Amex.com. At
Mm.
So when I saw at webmail, I immediately went, that's not right.
That's not true. Yeah.
So I screenshotted it, sent it to our account representative at American Express, and said, by the way, I got this from, whoever. You guys might want to do some homework. And I sent this to my marketing team and I said, make this, a publication about, the safety of it, put arrows and directions. So there's a lot of things that you can look at that don't make sense. With AI, a lot of AIs are being used to scam people. And the thing that I say to our agents on the phone when we're dealing with, possible scams is every family should have a safe word. If at any point you feel like you may not be talking or writing or having a conversation with somebody that you actually trust and know, um, a friend of mine, he's got a 7-year-old son and he's got now going to school. And, the aspect of, somebody picking up your child from school, right? There's a whole process that goes into it and things like that. But what about after school? When the kids are, riding their bikes to the playground and stuff. You could have a secret code word like bikini bottom, you know, and your response would be Patrick and SpongeBob. These are small little CIA tricks that they teach in Langley, in terms of code words. This can be very helpful to a family. If you're talking to somebody on the phone that doesn't feel right, throw out your family passcode, and if they don't respond properly, then you know that you're dealing with a scam
Mm.
or you're dealing with a bot.
Mm.
There's ways of
Yeah.
being smart and protecting yourself that can we as a business can cut down on our workload. And
Mm.
yes, do I want people to keep calling us? Absolutely. But I want us to be dealing with other problems than scams. I want us to be dealing with things that make people happy, not when people are scared.
Yeah. Yeah. But this really resonates with me because, especially here in India, digital scams, they have skyrocketed. I mean, we are having in 2023 alone, if I can give the stat, it has the cases have crossed like 1.6 million, with like, most of them, 70% of them being financial frauds. We have digital arrests, we have deep fake. I mean, yes, scams are a part of it, but then there is a whole lot of, problem to address upon. So,
Well, the problem that you have is that it has become an industry.
mm,
People make businesses and hire people as part of it. It has become so big, it's become its own industry. Piracy has become its own industry. So, what you're dealing with is not one particular set of individuals, you're dealing with an entire group and an entire industry of itself. And that is gonna need a serious conversation on how to address later on. There will always there will always be those who try to take the cheap and easy way out. Always will be. So we need to get past this point of eradicating it. It's never gonna eradicate. Sorry.
you have to be prepared. You have to be careful.
Yeah. This is something that's not going away. The numbers, the statistics prove it. Here in the United States, in 2024, $8 billion was stolen from seniors. $8 billion.
It's staggering. Scary.
Because there's money. There's money involved. Wherever there's money involved, you're always going to have legitimate businesses and illegitimate businesses. And it's only going to get worse because the population is moving into that direction. So there's going to be more need for care, more need for smart, smart fit technology. There's going to be more need for health technology. There's going to be more need for in-home services, Meals on Wheels, traveling nurses, telehealth. There is a $17 trillion industry slowly evolving over the next 8 years past 2030. We are going to have most of the GDP in this country go into pharmaceutical and healthcare support, which is telehealth, technology, transportation, logistics, health operations. There is going to be a major shift. It's a major shift. The United States is going to become the healthcare sector, is going to become the healthcare center of the world. We are not innovating like we used to. We're not inventing like we used to. We don't manufacture like we used to. But the one thing that we do have, and you and I discussed this about India, is that we have the ability in the United States to attract the best and brightest and most effective leaders and developers and doctors, lawyers, engineers, scientists. We have the ability to bring them all to the United States to work for our companies and make our country better. And where I see this country in the next 10, 12 years is becoming the healthcare sector of the entire world. If the United States can stay stable enough to be able to cultivate that, you will see mega hospitals being built. You will see new research being done. Yes, uh, as of the past week, our presidential administration has slowly started cutting away the Department of Health and the NCIS. Um, yes, I'm aware of that. But what outside of the United States has pointed out is that when you don't like a policy in the United States, you just wait 4 years till the next person comes in. If you don't like the policy, wait 4 years or two, because the midterm elections in our country are every 2 years. So as a presidential election ends up, we're starting the Senate and House races 2 years later. So for any outside company in any outside country, if you don't like the policies of America, just wait every 2 years, and there's a high good chance that it'll probably overturn and it'll probably be more favorable.
Yeah. See, Andrew. And yeah, before we wrap up, if our listeners would like to connect with you and explore more about tech rescue, what's the best way to do that?
Well, you can call our 1-800 hotline 24 hours a day at 855-250-8586, or visit us at www.techrescue.io. Our social media pages are all connected there, so you can look at our articles. You can, you know, take a look at what we've done, where we're going. I truly believe that there is a real demand for human interaction. I think everybody is tired of the screen. Um, even in the even in the dating culture. In the dating culture, we're finding statistic numbers is less dates are happening between men and women, or just people in general. But what we're finding from psychology today is that although date numbers are dropping and relationship numbers are dropping, there is this overwhelming growing number statistically of people who want to connect with other people. We are literally optimizing ourselves out of existence and optimizing ourselves out of humanity. Because you don't have to think. You can take somebody's message on a Tinder or Bumble or wherever, drop it into ChatGPT, get a perfect response, and send it back. You don't have to think, you don't have to assume, and Then what happens is people don't know who they're really talking to. So they don't go on dates, they don't interact. And this is where the problem is. We have optimized ourselves into self destruction.
Myron. Well, all I can say, Andrew, is in my world of podcasting and entrepreneurship, tech is both a blessing and a headache.
It
But
is.
uh, I absolutely appreciate that you are emphasizing on bringing back the trust, which definitely is the missing piece in so many digital interactions today, whether it's dating or it's tech or it's finance or real estate or anything out there.
Well, I mean, look at business over the past 20, 30 years. What you'll find on a trend line is that, yes, over the past 30 something years, business has expanded in double digit, triple digit numbers. Yes, I will agree with that. But look at the retention rate on on customer retention. How many customers are we actually keeping? How many customers are actually returning? The problem with companies like, let's say, Hulu and Disney Plus and Netflix and Amazon is they were so busy buying up all this content. And if you don't know what I'm talking about or you're not following along, turn on Netflix tonight and try to find something that you wanna watch. You will spend an hour on Netflix just searching for stuff before you even pick something. Why? Because you're not listening to your customers. You're throwing things at an economy of scale that doesn't need an economy of scale. Storytelling is not an economies of scale kind of thing. It's either it's good writing and it's a good story or it's not. And just because you buy everything in sight and slap it on your website as an option doesn't mean you're making a better product. It just means that you're offering more. And the numbers are showing it. Netflix is having a subscription problem. Hulu, Disney Plus, all of them are having a subscription problem. Why? Because they think just because you buy everything and slap it on there means that you're understanding your customer. You don't understand your customer.
You don't listen to them.
No, they don't. And if you don't believe me, look at their numbers. This is the part that I love about math. You can't lie with math. Right? Yes, you can change the denominator. You can skew the numerators a little bit, but at the end of the day, the numbers are not gonna lie to you. Disney is a perfect example. Now, I'm not looking to get political on it, but if we look at the numbers of Snow White, right, the new release, $157 million out the door, and you barely broke 50 back. That should tell you that the consumer that you are selling to doesn't want what you're selling. I don't know what is more obvious, and live action movies from Disney are not performing. They're not. So why do you keep making them? This is what I mean as a business. You have to listen to your customer and know what you're doing. Your customer will tell you what they want.
Right. That's right. And this is 101. This is business 101. This cannot be different for any particular generation or an era.
No,
This irrespective of the timelines. It's timeless. That's the timeless fundamental.
G, for example, right? Blizzard Games. Rockstar Games is going to have a problem. What they're talking about is charging people for Grand Theft Auto, which is going to be supposedly one of the biggest games that have ever hit the world in terms of its scalability using AI to constantly change the game, right?
Yep.
Rockstar Games is talking about charging people per usage of its game. Because obviously, if you pay, let's say, $75, $80 for the game, well, there's a lot more to the game than $80. That's the math in their head, right? We're going to charge you per week or per hour or per data that you're using our game. All right. Okay. That's fine. You will make a lot of money very quickly because the subscription model and a use model is very effective. You will make a lot of money. I'm not denying that. But you are going to blow off your foot with a double barrel shotgun. Because when people still have to start paying to play, what do you think they're going to start doing? They're going to go look for something else. Because as much fun as your game is, after 100 something hours of the game, and yes, you can constantly keep changing it and you can constantly keep renewing it. But at 150 something hours in a game, you pretty much played the game and you come back to it to do different things, but you're not going to do it as intensively as you did the first time. So you need to keep your people coming back to want to play. Are they going to play with the same intensity? No, never as the first time, right? It's like drug dealing. You will never get a high the same way as you do on the first one. You never will. And drug addicts will tell you that they're constantly chasing that first one. You can get close, but you're never going to get to the first one. So the use model or subscription model for something like that is a good idea for the short term. Horrible idea for the long term. Horrible. Sorry.
Hard hitting. It is hard hitting, but it is the truth.
You're going to get business. I'm not saying you're not. But if you think the consumer, the American consumer, who is bombarded constantly with new and different things, is going to then resubscribe $50 for another 100 megabytes or $100 for an extra set of 1,000 megabytes or 1 terabyte of data to go on play your game again, you might get one hit, you might get two hits. But there's NBA 25 coming out. There's NFL 25 coming out. There's MLB 25 coming out. They're talking about a new Dark Knight series coming out. They're now talking about a new Star Wars Old Republic video game coming out. They're talking about a whole different things coming out. What separates you from those games that are going to have another 150, 160 hours of playtime? You are constantly competing against the next biggest, best thing. And you want to make people keep paying. You want to make people keep paying for that. Okay. I think your customer base is going to tell you a different story, but I'm not a multi-billion-dollar gaming industry, so I'm just a small local tech support guy. But I can promise you that ain't going to go the way you think it is.
Great, great, Andrew. Well, this has been really, really eye-opening, and thank you, Andrew, for bringing not just insights, but really hard-hitting insights. And uh,
But what I want to leave your audience, the one thing I can leave your audience with is this. Over our conversation is, if you're wondering why your business isn't doing well, look at how you're treating people versus how you want to be treated. Are you doing what everybody else is doing, or are you making somebody who walks into your store, who goes to your website, have a good day? Did you make somebody have a better day? Did you make somebody feel better? Because business connectivity is not just about price and product. It's about the experience the customer has at getting what they want. Did they have to fight you to get what they want, or did they have a wonderful experience getting what they want? Because if you have a wonderful experience, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to come back. If you don't believe me, go to your favorite restaurant. Write down while you're at the restaurant, take out a little pad, write down every little thing that makes you love this place. That one particular place, a coffee shop, a bakery, a restaurant, a diner, whatever it is. Take out a piece of paper or on your phone notepad, write down as you're thinking it every single thing that makes you love this place. Take a day, don't look at it, then come back to it, look at it, read it, why you love the place, and now ask yourself, what do customers think about when they step into your place?
Absolutely.
There you go. Simple as that. If you're not giving your customer the experience that builds trust, that makes them feel good, sorry, it, you're not doing justice to your customer. You're not doing justice to your business. You're not serving your business. Think about how think about how somebody else makes you feel, and then think about how you make your customers feel, and you will see the staggering difference between the 2.
Absolutely. And listeners, thank you to everyone for tuning in. I would encourage all of you, irrespective you are into business or not, just think about the insights, the questions raised here today in this conversation. And until next time, that's what is curiosity. So stay curious and stay human. Thank you.
Thank you.